Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as we get into the latest, what's going on, what's happening at Chelsea and away. We will get to a couple of things that's happened away from, obviously, from just Chelsea in relation to deadline day. There was a little bit of confusion going on somewhere in France in relation to a certain player that has left England, so we're going to get to that. And also, Nigeria playing at the Africa Cup of Nations, and that game has just ended. And I know I'm going to get tons of Nigerians in the comments going absolutely crazy. And you know what? Fair play. Go crazy. Go absolutely insane. It's very much deserved. I will get into all of that at the end. Make sure you stick around for that. And make sure you're here tomorrow, because tomorrow we go through the motions again. Well, kind of. The day before we go through the motions is where the preview drops. And tomorrow is going to be the preview for Chelsea versus Wolves as we play on Sunday. And that's when we're going to go through the motions. The watch along is on Sunday. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified of that preview and the watch along on Sunday. And make sure you're there for that and we can suffer together. Now, talking about suffering, let's get into the video. Now, there's been a big debate today across all of socials in relation to Chelsea's FFP situation, right? And there was one video that popped up on TalkSport, and I know it's TalkSport, but TalkSport are the platform, right? The person that was speaking, Stefan Borson, used to be financial advisor at Manchester City back when they were rubbish, let's say, right? Back in the day when Chelsea used to rock up to Main Road and just, do a number on them. It used to be nothing, right? Back in those days. Back when Main Road used to exist. The stadium, of course. When they had like Stuart Pearce and they were bottom of the table and that sort of time. That's when they had no money, that's when this person was financial advisor. So I do want to give some context to this because some people reckon that, oh no, this guy, he's just feeding Man City propaganda and he's just trying to say everything he can against Chelsea. He's the one that's come out with the prediction that Man City can get relegated after the 115 charges. Which, by the way, a date has been set for. We're waiting for that date and then we're going to see what happens. So there's no reason to be talking about the 115 charges now. We've been given a date, a trial date for that happen. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen on that day. But he's the one that's come out and said, yeah, Man City can get relegated. That's not very good propaganda if he's trying to do propaganda. So, I think he's trying to actually come out and be fairly logical. But with Chelsea, it is a lot of assumption going on. However, I've come across some numbers and I do want to, I'm no economist. I'm not going to try and come on here and tell you, this is exactly what's going on. This is what needs to happen. This is what's going on now. Like, I'm not going to do that in terms of numbers and finances and all of that. But we have to entertain the possibility of what could happen. It could be, we could end up with nothing happening and it's all good, but we could end up with a catastrophe and it's all bad. We don't know. Right now, as fans, we don't know. The only people that genuinely know are the people on the inside or people that know of people on the inside and have information. I'm not that. I don't have that. Right? I wish I could pick up the phone and be, some insider at the club and be like, yo, how you doing? Yeah, what's the latest? Go on, hit me. Right? And then I come on here and be like, listen, trust me on this, yeah? My source, trust me. That's not me. I don't have it. So I'm speculating and reacting to the same information that you guys have. I've come across some numbers that have been put out by Football 360. Football 360 are, I think that they're football business analysts that offer an educational platform for people that want to get into football business as well. There's an educational route for them to get into the industry, but they do football business analysts and they've come up with numbers and it's been put on social. So I'm going to show you what's been going on and then we can address it. This is from TalkSport and this is Steve Borson and these are some of his quotes. He said, in my mind, there's certainly trouble on the horizon for Chelsea. The breach they're lined up for is bigger than Everton's. It's deemed deliberate. Stefan Borson predicts Chelsea will be found to have breached FFP in the near future. Some are probably going to be like, but it's not happening, it's rubbish, right? It's rubbish. And I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case, right? And it's just rubbish and it's not going to happen. But we have to not be naive and negligent of the possibility. There's two sides to a story here. We have to entertain both. You know, I hope nothing happened. But then I come across these numbers. Let's get into it. So this is part of a thread that explains why Chelsea are going to suffer in the long term and the short term and all of that. But he talks about the medium term and talking about how there has to be £100 million generated, or in this case, he's used 100 million euros. But the graphic and the numbers that he's used here by Football 360 is £100 million that needs to be generated by the 30th of June. Now, I'm going to come back to these numbers very shortly. Stefan Borson said that on TalkSport. Said that Chelsea needs to generate £100 million in player sales by the 30th of June. Why? Because that's when the accounting period ends for this current season. And we are currently, in terms of the FFP rules state that you're not allowed to have losses over 105 million over a 3-year period. We are currently, according to these numbers that I'm going to put back on the screen, £95 million loss. That's where we are. We're on the brink. So in order to make up for all of that, because we're going to have operating losses, there is going to be losses in terms of the cost of operations at Chelsea, which I'll show you on the numbers as well. That we have to generate money from player sales. If not, we will be done for FFP. That's what this is that's what this is saying. That's what he said on TalkSport earlier, and he's saying that it's going to come down to Gallagher, Broja, Maatsen, these players having to be sold, and the money generated before June 30th. Now, the problem with that is that it sounds easy. Sounds easy. Yeah, Gallagher goes pure profit. Broja goes pure profit. Broja is actually looking like that's actually very possible. Gallagher, he holds the cards. He holds the cards. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He can just run down his contract. And the problem, which is the point that Stefan Borson came out with, which we have to acknowledge is the case. Look, teams haven't spent this transfer window. Let's go back and actually look at this January transfer window. Who has spent money? No one. Everyone is looking at their FFP situation. Everyone. So they know the situation that Chelsea are in. They know that they can hold Chelsea for ransom. And if Chelsea are demanding a certain price, they can be like, nah, we're not paying. Bring your fee down. If not, you're not getting rid of the player, because we know that you need to get rid of the player. Financially, it puts Chelsea in a very bad negotiating position. This is where the point that was made by Stefan Borson earlier on, I actually think is legit. That Chelsea are in a situation where on the negotiating table, we're on the weaker side. Because everyone, not everyone, but you best believe the clubs, the insiders, they know what's going on. And they definitely know. They would know of the financial situation that Chelsea are in and what they're looking to generate. And that's only going to dictate exactly how negotiations are going to go. So, for example, if Chelsea are happy to sell to Tottenham, for example, for Conor Gallagher, like I've said, for him, he holds the keys. He can just go, I'm not going. Why? It's Tottenham. I don't want to go to Tottenham. I want to stay out and play my contract at Chelsea. He could do that. At the same time, if Chelsea are demanding 60 million because we want to generate as much as possible, Tottenham right now, the only club properly interested in paying money for Conor Gallagher, could go, we're not paying that, mate. 30 or we're gone. They could. They actually could. And even then, I don't think Conor Gallagher will go to Tottenham. I just don't think it will happen. I think it's going to take another club to have to come in. And that will help Chelsea. If another club comes in, there's a bit of a bidding war, great. Great. It's the same thing that happened with Brighton for Caicedo between Chelsea and when Liverpool walked into the conversation. So there's that. But the numbers, if we go back to the numbers, let's check this out. So this is where we have, you're looking at the operation, the operating profit and loss, and look at that. It's a grand total of 578.4 million in the loss. Profit on player sales at the moment, 297.2 million profit, but it's not enough. When you're taking all of that into consideration, we are currently at a net result of 95.2 million loss over a 3-year period. That's at the moment. Taking into consideration 2020 to 21, 21 to 22, and 22 to 23. So when you take in 23 to 24, which is what comes to an end on June 30th, that's where we need to make that up. If not, we will be punished because we will be crossing the threshold of 105 million, and then we're going to face the same punishment that Everton had because they were breaching that exact rule. They did not save themselves when it came to £105 million loss over a 3-year period. And that's what we would be breaching. And the problem, which is, it's true, is that we don't have any mitigating circumstances. We don't have any. Everything that we've done has been just because Chelsea wanted to. There's been no constraints or an event or something's happened or like the excuse that he used that we have a stadium being built or something. Like we don't have any of that. We don't have any of that. So when you take it into consideration, it's a possibility. Now, unless if Chelsea do generate the money, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. So this is where we have to entertain both sides of the spectrum because that's all the information that we have to play with at the moment. But there is a possibility. And when you put 2 and 2 together and you look at the business that Chelsea are looking to do, it's all strictly around players that are going to generate pure profit. It makes sense. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on that and what you generally think on that whole situation, and we will see what happens when it comes to the time. But you can see many of the non-Chelsea lot are all just waiting for something to happen. They're all just waiting for something to happen. And this was all because of the very beginning when we gutted everything out. We made so much change. We bought so many with so much money, and we haven't got anything to really show for it. And now we're having to clutch at straws on a financial level. So this is where it leads us to this next story. Check this out. Chelsea like Boniface, Sesko and Evan Ferguson. Osimhen's salary demands are more than what the owners are willing to pay, so they would have to make an exemption if they went for him. Do you see? It all just screams that financially we are just looking to constrain ourselves. And I'm starting to think, my own opinion. I'm starting to think that Chelsea are looking at this and we've put ourselves in a situation that's been self-inflicted, voluntary, with all we've spent $1 billion, man. We've spent $1 billion and we've got literally nothing to show for it. You know, and we're waiting to generate money from those pure profit players, and that's all we're clutching at. So now when it comes to having to actually get the players that the team is desperately screaming for, we don't want to pay over a certain limit in order to give salary because we don't want to pay that much. It's just, this is what screams that going forward. Yeah, where are Chelsea going? Where are Chelsea going? Where are we heading? God knows. God knows. We'll see. But the other players that were mentioned, even so, I think buying players, because remember, when it comes to FFP, it doesn't take into consideration, how much is being spent in terms of a transfer budget to go and get players. Everyone has a transfer budget, right? And it depends on how you use that budget. We could literally blow the whole thing on Victor Osimhen because it looks like we're not willing to spend so much. And then we're going to have to give a decent salary, which, as far as I'm concerned, if you want the top players, you're going to have to pay top salary. But it looks like we've put ourselves and we've self-inflicted ourselves into a situation where we just cannot now give that sort of salary because of the financial situation we've put ourselves in. If that is the case, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm getting the feeling now based on when you put 2 and 2 together, this is what it seems like it's all heading towards, that we have constrained ourselves financially. with the recklessness that we went on, if we're being honest about it now. And like I said, if we actually did spend big and got top players in, fair enough, because we would be performing, we'd be in European football and all of that. But we've put ourselves in this situation, like I've said, we've got nothing to show for it. So it's a worry. Personally, I'm concerned. So let's see. Now, those players that were mentioned, again, does anyone rate them? Boniface, Sesko, Evan Ferguson. Out of them, I think Boniface is someone that you can look at and go, yeah, decent. Sesko, for me, doesn't sit right. And Evan Ferguson, just not proven at all yet. No. I don't want to... And we already know his release clause would be like, what, 100 and something million? Nah, mate. But I don't want to deal with Brighton ever again. Anyway, that's that. Let me know your thoughts down below. And then, look, this happened yesterday, deadline day as well. Unreal. Malang Sarr travelled to France on deadline day to undergo a medical with Le Havre, but Chelsea later had a change of heart and never sent the documents needed to finalise the deal. That's from Foot Mercato, which is a big French football outlet. But there's more that they've said. Le Havre have described Chelsea's deadline day behaviour as scandalous. Malang Sarr was ready to sign a 2.5-year contract but will now travel back to Chelsea today. I don't understand. How has this fallen through? Now, personally, look, I have to be honest here. I genuinely think that there could be a possibility that Malang Sarr has not got what he wanted and he's not allowed it to go through. There's a possibility. And why? Why? Because Le Havre are playing in France, and what salary are they going to be willing to pay? Tell me. Well, they're definitely not going to be paying this. Malang Sarr is being paid around £100,000 a week. That's at Chelsea. Mate, he is chilling. Yeah, since he started at Chelsea, that's the money he's been on. So he is living life. He's not playing. He's getting paid 100 grand every week. He is cool. He goes to Le Havre, for example. There is no chance that they're going to be offering him 100k a week. No chance. So I do have to play devil's advocate on this one and go, listen, maybe this is more on Malang Sarr than it is on Chelsea. But if it is on Chelsea, how have we not got the paperwork through on time when he's taking 100k a week? How? This one doesn't make sense. I'll be real. It doesn't make sense. How can Chelsea not be willing to offload Malang Sarr? I don't know. That one doesn't add up for me. So I'm looking more towards Malang Sarr, if I'm being completely honest. I think, personally, maybe he's blagged Le Havre. Maybe he's like, hey, Chelsea have not sent the paperwork. I don't know. And then maybe he's not even told Chelsea's in France. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. But let me know your thoughts. Pochettino spoke today. He said this. When asked on Chelsea's project, we want results today and it's difficult to wait, but look at Liverpool. At Spurs, we beat them 4-1 at Wembley in 2017 and a few years later they won the Premier League and the Champions League. That defeat was not the end of the world. He's still doubling down, basically, that it's just one game. Don't worry, it's just one game. Why? Because we beat a championship team like Middlesbrough. Why? Because we beat a championship team like Preston. Why? Because we beat bottom of the league, Sheffield United. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? You know, I understand publicly he's not really going to want to say certain things. Cool, fair. But come on, man. Don't. This is insulting people's intelligence as far as I'm concerned. It's not just one game. We've lost 9. Yeah? We've lost 9. It's not just one game. So, let's see what happens on Sunday. And then let's see what happens after. And let's see what happens against Villa, you know, at the replay. Let's see what happens against Liverpool in the cup final. Let's see what happens at the Etihad. Let's see what happens when Tottenham come to the Bridge. All of this is coming up very, very shortly. So, you better be ready. Don't go anywhere, as Matisse loves to say. Don't go anywhere. It's as simple as that. So, honestly, it's not just one game. It's not. There's an entire problem and we can't shy away from it. Simple. So, there's that. Now, away from Chelsea, this. FIFA have granted Lyon appeal for Said Benrahma. West Ham have matched the TMS a few minutes ago. Lyon will be finally able to complete Benrahma deal in the next hours. The player was still waiting in Lyon, only hoping for an Olympique Lyon move. So he has joined Lyon from West Ham. That has finally gone through. West Ham were playing some sort of games last night. I don't know what was going on. And the same happened with Fornals, I think it was. I think those two have now gone through. FIFA have granted that, so he's gone. And definitely a good move. Definitely a good move for Benrahma. Benrahma, I think, will suit Ligue 1 better. I think he'll find more space. I think he'll be playing regularly. I think he'll be getting game time and minutes, and he will pick up form. And when he picks up form, he's a decent player. But at West Ham, he just wasn't doing it. Benrahma, good luck over at Lyon. And let's see if he can help them save their situation, because Lyon have been a bit all over the place as well. There's that. And to wrap up, AFCON. Nigeria are in the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations, and this is no surprise, I'll be honest. When they got through the group, I was looking and going, I expect them to get to the semi. Now they've reached the semi, let's wait and see. They beat Angola 1-0. First half, beautiful. And as far as I'm concerned, for Nigeria, in control, moving the ball nicely. They have a very nice blend, and it looks like as the tournament goes on, they're able to have a more cohesion and more about their team game by game. It gets faster, quicker, more. You can see there's chemistry building. They're playing very efficiently. And that first half was just a prime example of that. Lookman having a great tournament. Victor Osimhen alongside. It's going really, really well. And it's a good goal from Lookman. Fantastic team move. Ball cut in. But the whole team attack was great. On the byline. Managed to get the ball in. Lookman, no players around him. Comes in. Smashes the ball. Middle of the goal. From the penalty spot, basically, in the box, and it's 1-0. And after that, I mean, and this is the thing, Angola, in the second half, I wasn't surprised that they got portions of that second half where they got themselves nearly back into the game. One was where they hit the post, and I thought that was in. I was like, oh my God, they've done it again. Listen, Algeria played against Angola in that game, and I remember first half we looked unbelievable. Second half they equalised. We looked. Angola just woke up out of nowhere, and I was like, you know what? Nigeria are playing much better than any other big country at this competition so far. But I'm looking at Angola and I'm thinking they might. And then Victor Osimhen did score the second, but that was ruled offside, and correctly so, because it was offside. Just great header. Keeper couldn't save it, stuck it into top corner. But Angola were piling pressure, and they kept themselves in the game, just not enough. And Nigeria overall deserved victory, and they find themselves in the semi-final. And look, the semi-final, you'd think, right, that it should be a foregone conclusion. And when you're looking to the route to the final now, it's going to be Nigeria against Cape Verde or South Africa. I'm just going to tell you this. That's not going to be easy. Cape Verde have been the underdog in this tournament from the get-go. They've looked flawless this entire tournament. As far as I'm concerned, before Senegal got eliminated, Cape Verde were the best-looking team at this tournament so far. Because no one expected them to be playing the way that they've been playing. Beautiful. Now they got to play South Africa. Let's wait and see. But South Africa just knocked out Morocco. That was a shock. So if Nigeria are going to face some competition, I think now at the semi-final, they're going to get it. You would expect Nigeria to go all the way. But even in the other leg of games, you got DR Congo, Guinea, you'd expect. Again, you can't say that about African football though, man. Anything's possible. Mali and the Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast now, having got themselves this far, are playing on home turf. That's going to be an immediate advantage. It looks like they've woken up after getting rid of their manager. All of a sudden, they look like they're here to play. So it's going to be a very interesting end. But for the sake of tonight and Nigeria making the semi-final, fully deserved. Congratulations. Enjoy the celebrations to all the Nigerians that are watching. Go crazy. Make the most of it. And semi-final time, go again, and let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below in relation to that competition. And just, it's been a beautiful competition overall. Wonderful AFCON. Honestly, wonderful. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you all so much. And don't forget to be here tomorrow as we get through the preview for Chelsea versus Wolves, which is going down on Sunday. So make sure you guys are here tomorrow for that preview. And then for the watch along on Sunday for that game as we go through the motions together. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you all so much. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this. Check out the socials on screen and in the description. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.